In true crime, unexplained cases are not unusual. But this one doesn't just lack answers. It lacks a clear sequence of events. This is the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa. The car was found. That part is not in question. But the car is not the thing that has no explanation. It was just after 4:30 in the morning on August 30th, 2013. A 2003 Toyota Highlander had gone down a 15-foot embankment near a lake access road in Castaic, California. The rear window had been removed, not shattered, removed. And inside, a phone, a wallet, a laptop, a duffel bag. Everything you would need if you were trying to get somewhere. The person who owned those things was gone. There has been no confirmed sighting of him in over a decade. Bryce Laspisa was 19 years old. He was studying graphic design at Sierra College, north of Sacramento. By most accounts, he was sociable, the kind of person people describe as easy to be around. His family had recently moved to Laguna Niguel in Orange County, about 500 miles south of his campus. The drive between them was routine. He had made it before. This time, something went wrong well before the embankment. It began 2 days earlier, on August 28th. Bryce left the city of Chico that night after ending a relationship in person. He was heading south, toward his parents, on Interstate 5, a 6-hour drive. At that point, nothing was unusual. No one was watching the clock. By the following morning, almost 10 hours had passed. He had covered less than half the distance. So, what happened during those missing hours? At around 9 a.m. on August 29th, a roadside assistance provider named Christian, the owner of Castro Tire and Gas in the small Kern County town of Buttonwillow, delivered 3 gallons of fuel to a young man parked on the roadside. The car had run out of gas. The young man was calm. He accepted the fuel. Christian drove away. Hours passed. Bryce did not move. His parents became aware something was wrong through a routine insurance notification, a flag showing the roadside assistance charge on their account. His mother, Karen, called the number for Castro Tire and asked Christian to go back and check on him. Christian returned in the afternoon and found Bryce exactly where he had left him. He had been parked in the same spot for approximately 12 hours. Christian spoke with him, encouraged him to drive, and watched him pull back onto the highway. Bryce called his mother shortly after and told her he was heading home. That was where it should have ended. But by evening, he still had not arrived. His parents filed a missing persons report with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Investigators tracked his phone to Kern County. A deputy located him again, only a few miles from Buttonwillow. He had moved barely 8 miles in 9 hours. According to reports, the officer found no signs of intoxication. He searched the vehicle. Nothing concerning was located. Bryce spoke to his mother by phone. He said he was repacking the car. He said he would head home. At this point, one question remains difficult to answer. What do you do when someone appears fine, passes every visible test, and is still clearly not fine? The officer let him go. At 2:08 in the morning on August 30th, Bryce called his mother one final time. He told her he was pulling off the highway to rest. He described the area as looking like a residential neighborhood. He said he would call when he woke up. He did not call. This would be the last confirmed conversation. His communication in the final hours has been described as increasingly difficult to interpret. Calm in tone, but inconsistent in action. This is where the timeline breaks. That surveillance footage is one of the more quietly significant pieces of evidence in this case. The vehicle was captured twice, moving toward Castaic Lake's recreation area in a window of roughly 2 hours. What happened between those two timestamps, and why the same route was traveled twice, has never been established. At 2:08 a.m., Bryce was on the phone with his mother. 7 minutes later, the camera caught his car already on a road that does not lead toward home. Between 4:20 and 5:15 in the morning, a 911 call reported a vehicle accident on Main Ramp Road at Castaic Lake. California Highway Patrol officers arrived to find the Highlander on its side, at the bottom of a 15-foot embankment. The rear window had been removed from the inside. Investigators noted blood on the windshield, consistent with the crash impact. Authorities noted blood inside the vehicle, but not in a quantity typically associated with severe or incapacitating injury. No injury trail, no footprints recorded in the immediate vicinity. A duffel bag was found outside the vehicle. And yet, no one was there. His identification was not found among his belongings. What followed was one of the largest missing persons searches in that area in recent memory. Ground teams, helicopters, dive teams, K-9 units, and volunteers covered the lake, the shoreline, and the surrounding terrain over several days. Search dogs picked up a scent trail 9 days after the disappearance, leading west from the lake toward a truck stop on Castaic Road in the direction of Interstate 5. The trail ended there. No remains, no clothing, no second camera, no witness. This is where the case becomes difficult to explain. The terrain around Castaic Lake, while rugged, is not remote in the way that makes indefinite concealment easy. The area was searched within hours. Divers went into the lake, and yet, nothing. Investigators found no clear indication of direction after the vehicle. The absence itself became part of the evidence. In the weeks before his disappearance, people close to Bryce had noticed changes. His roommate told investigators he had been drinking more heavily than usual, staying up through the night, playing video games until morning. He had been using a prescription stimulant, reportedly without a diagnosis. In the days leading up to his disappearance, he had also been giving away personal belongings, a detail investigators have noted as potentially significant. His girlfriend at the time described his behavior in their final days together as strange and unwell. None of that explains the gap between Buttonwillow and Castaic. Between roughly midnight on the 28th and 9 the following morning, 9.5 hours, Bryce drove a route that should have taken under 6. Where he went during that time, what he did, whether he stopped again, is unknown. No records have surfaced to account for those hours. In 2022, a photograph taken in Missoula, Montana circulated widely. A man on a bicycle, bearing what many felt was a striking resemblance to Bryce Laspisa. A detective investigated in person. He located the individual and confirmed the identification. It was not Bryce. The detective reportedly noted the resemblance was remarkable. As of August 2025, 12 years on, the family issued another statement. 12 years, and still no answers or closure. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department continues to list the case as open. When a national news outlet contacted the department for an update that same year, no response was received. There are things in this case that have a possible explanation, and there are things that do not. A 19-year-old in apparent psychological distress, a car that traveled a road twice in the dark, a rear window removed from the inside, a scent trail that stopped at a highway interchange. These details exist. They are documented. What connects them, or whether they connect at all, is the part that remains open. Bryce David Laspisa would be 31 years old. The case is active. The tip line is still answered.